Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all 15 of you. Guys, we are growing like bamboo out here, okay? We are getting subscribers left, right, and center. I'm not even joking. Like, literally, last week I was saying hello to all 7 of you, and now we're at 15 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. It really means the world to me. This channel is growing so fast. For those who don't know, this is not my first YouTube channel. I have 3 other YouTube channels, as a matter of fact, that all have significantly more subscribers than this does. But this was one I just made because I wanted to talk about Call of Duty, and I did not expect it to get, like, traction this fast. I've done it 3 times before in the past, and this one's gaining traction by far the fastest. Like, we've only had this channel for like a month, and you guys are already, you know, it's already getting like put on recommendation pages and stuff like that, and it's all thanks to you guys, so thank you guys so much. But today we're going over part 9 of our multi-part series of ranking every Call of Duty map, multiplayer map, in every Call of Duty game. We started with Black Ops 6, then we went on to Black Ops 2, then we went on to Call of Duty Ghosts, then we went all the way up to Modern Warfare 3 2023, and then we did, I want to say, Black Ops 4, and then we did Call of Duty Vanguard, and then we just did World at War. So actually, this might be part 8. Actually, I might have been wrong there. I think it is part 8, because we're going over the ranking all 23 Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer maps from worst to best. Obviously, this also is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare maps. Are the exact same game with the exact same amount of maps in them. So we're ranking them both. I'm just gonna go with Modern Warfare Remastered because of 2 reasons. 1, I played it more than I played COD 4, and 2, I feel like most of you guys played it more than I played COD 4. And on top of all of that, it has better graphics, so it's going to be more enjoyable for you to watch. So that's why we're going with Modern Warfare Remastered, even though it's the same exact thing as COD 4. This is all personal opinion, obviously, but I'm mainly basing it on vibes and how they play. Like, if the map looks good and looks cool and is like fun to play, that's what I care about. That's pretty much it, okay? Like, I'm not a competitive player. I'm a very casual player, so this is not like a competitive opinion on like which map is like the best well-designed for like peak gaming on Call of Duty. Like, that's not me, man. I'm just a regular dude, okay? And we're splitting it up into 6 tiers: the awful tier, bad tier, mediocre tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. Song of the day is called Ric Flair Drip by Metro Boomin and Offset. It is a rap song, so if you don't like rap music, do not listen to it, obviously, but it's like a 2016 rap song, so maybe you'll like it either way. But without further ado, let's get right into it with number 23, my least favorite map in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I knew I was wrong. I was like, this is definitely not part 8. This is part 9. What game am I forgetting that I did? And of course, it was the most forgettable Call of Duty ever made, Infinite Warfare. Yeah, I already ranked Infinite Warfare's maps as well. So it was between World at War and Vanguard. So that's the one I was missing. This is part 9 is what I'm trying to say. Either way, 23rd place, my least favorite map in the game is Strike. Strike is just too large and too pointless and just not a fun map to play on in Modern Warfare Remastered. It doesn't have its own identity either. It's just like it's random town. Like, it's not even a cool town either. It's a desert town. It's not like we're in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, like some cool town with history behind it. No, we're in like, I don't know, randomsburg. It's got like nothing going on here. And then it's desert. I hate the desert aspect of some of these maps too. I just hate looking at like desert sand the entire time I'm playing these maps, and this is one of them. Like, it's just not good. Coming in at 22nd, and the final one for the awful tier before we move on into the bad tier, because there's only really 2 maps in this game that I truly just like hate playing. It's District. District reminds me a lot of Strike, as a matter of fact, especially in terms of its design. It's another just random like town that you're fighting in the alleyways of, and it's really desert in gray, or not gray, desert in like brown and poopy colored. It looks like somebody literally went over to your screen in the middle of playing and just rubbed their diarrhea all over it. It's not the best looking map out there. But this one is more close quarters, which I guess is slightly better, I would say. So that's why I'm putting it one spot higher than Strike. But either way, I'm not going to want to play on either of these maps. But hey, at least there's only 2 in the awful tier. That's really good for Modern Warfare Remastered, because, you know, COD 4 actually liked making good maps back then. But yeah, back in most of the other games, they had at least 3 or 4 in the awful tier. So this is good. This is a good start. But now we are into the bad tier. Some maps in this tier are still not great maps, don't get me wrong, but compared to some like Black Ops 6 maps and like Modern Warfare 3 2023 maps, yeah, I'd rather play these than some of those, to be honest. But 21st place is Block. This is not one of the ones that I would rather play over any of those. I would rather play pretty much nothing over Block. Block is really not fun. Its design is okay. That's the only good part of it. It's like kind of cool, actually. I kind of like its design. I understand that most maps from like Modern Warfare, COD 4, and even World at War, I think even Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 as well, were just taken straight from the campaign, and so it's not like perfectly designed for multiplayer. And that really shows in this map. It's just really, really, really large. And then it's like, you either have super close range combat or super long range combat. There's no in between. There's no medium range combat in this map. And I do like the design, and it's kind of like a cool like courtyard setting in like Russia. It's got a cool setting going on, but besides that, it's so bad. 20th place might be a little bit of a hot take, but hear me out. It's broadcast. I've never been a fan of broadcast. I don't know if people think it's cool just because of the setting, because the setting is kind of cool. It's like a news station that you're fighting in, which, you know, that's different. It's unique. You know, I respect that. But then the map just doesn't play that well. The entire like middle part of the map, where like the actual like news station is, like inside the building, is so like weird. Like there's so many head glitches, and it's like so hard to see enemies in there because there's just so much stuff going on, and I don't like it. I don't like how much stuff is going on. It drives me a little bit cuckoo bananas. And then the rest of the map, like yeah, the setting is cool, but it's not enough to bring it up. It just doesn't play well. Coming in at 19th place, however, is going to Crossfire. Crossfire, I feel like, is probably lower than some people were expecting it to be. I feel like some people were probably like, oh man, Crossfire's got to be one of the best maps in Modern Warfare Remastered. No, if you actually think about, like, it's not a horrible map in terms of the grand scheme of Call of Duty maps, but when you think about Modern Warfare Remastered maps, it is. Like, this is one of the weaker ones for sure. It's just, again, too large, and the entire street section, that's actually no man's land. And then the entire, like, section to the left of the street where the stores are, not the building, not like the houses, not like the apartments, but like the stores, you know what I'm talking about? That part of the map is also like pretty much no one goes there. Like no one, it's just a ghost town over there half the time. Coming in at 18th place is probably the most forgettable Modern Warfare Remastered map of all time, Chinatown. I forgot this existed. I had to go back and play this map to refresh my memory on what it was, because I was like, wait, what? Chinatown? I've never heard of that map before in my life. And so I went back and played it. I honestly still don't remember it. Maybe this is like a really late DLC map or something that they added into the game that wasn't in Modern Warfare COD 4, because I don't remember this map that much at all. Playing it though, I wasn't really too impressed by it. It seemed like just kind of another, almost like a remastered district. Coming in at 17th place, however, is going to go to a really cool one in terms of its design, Ambush. Ambush, like I just said, I do like the design of Ambush. I think they like, it's such a unique design, like where it's almost like there's a big hill in the middle, right? And you're going to fight on either side of the hill, but there is some ways to get behind the hill if you manage to get behind the enemies and get a pretty crazy flank off. That is pretty cool. I like that. But then the rest of the map is just like, I do think it's just a little bit too big. And then on top of that, it's like, it's really easy to spawn trap on this map, because they pretty much only have 2 lanes that they can come from in their spawn. You know, there's only like 2 lanes that they can get to the middle of. And it just doesn't really work that well, in my opinion. Like, everybody can just get on the big mound in the middle and just kind of like hold down those very long lanes and just stick you in your spawn. However, coming in at 16th place, in the final one for the bad tier before we move along into the average tier, is Creek. Creek is another map that I almost like forgot, so I had to go back and play it again, and then I immediately refreshed my memory. I was like, oh yeah, Creek. I remember Creek. It's okay. I've never been the biggest fan. It is one of the smaller, I guess, sized maps of the game for sure, and usually I do like smaller maps better, but this one has too much like verticality in it. I know that sounds weird, because a lot of people probably think to themselves, hey, I want verticality in my Call of Duty maps. I'm gonna be totally honest, man. I don't like verticality in Call of Duty maps, because it makes for maps like a state where one team spawns on the top and just can like absolutely hold down the entire rest of the map, because the other team is trying to come up at them and then they have the high ground. And that's kind of how it feels with Creek a little bit. Alright, but now we're into the average tier. So maps in this tier, when they pop up in the old map selection tier, I'm probably going to choose a different one over them, but I'm not going to be mad if it wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I don't want to play this map. But I'm also not going to be like if I start dying pretty quickly, yeah, I'll probably rage quit the map and go play a different one. Because 15th place is Wet Work. Wet Work gets a lot of hate, actually. A lot of people say that Wet Work is designed horribly. And listen, in terms of like its lanes and its design choice that way, yeah, there's almost like no way to flank enemies. You pretty much just have to like barge through them. You know, you pretty much just have to like literally like get through the enemies in order to get behind them. And that part of the map is definitely pretty tough for sure. I can understand why people don't like that. But the design of this map is unlike any other. It's a boat, like a boat in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of, it's like rainy and stuff like that. It's a really freaking cool design of a map. It obviously reminds you of other boats maps, USS Texas from Vanguard, or Hijacked obviously from World War or for Black Ops 2, but it doesn't play as well as those for sure, but I like the design. Coming in at 14th place, however, is going to Daybreak. Daybreak is just the daytime version of the map Downpour, which, spoiler alert, we're going to be going over very soon, because they're exactly the same map. One has just a different atmosphere than the other, and I do like Downpour better. Spoiler alert, again, obviously, although, I mean, I feel like you'd have to kind of be a mental institution patient in order to not realize that. But yeah, because I kind of think that's the whole point of Downpour. Like, that's literally its selling point. It's the name of the map is Downpour because it's pouring. And then you made like a daytime version of it. It just kind of feels pointless. Hey, would you look at that? 13th place is Downpour. what a wacky surprise. Yeah, it's the, you know, daytime rainy, or not daytime, a rainy dark version of Daybreak. I like that better. I'm sorry, I know it might be a hot take out there to say that I like it better, but it kind of fits the map's vibes. I feel like that's exactly what they were going for, and it does it. It's not like I feel like some people out there probably think like, oh, it's impossible to see. No, it is not impossible to see on Downpour. It's still very possible to see. Like, it's still a very easy map to see on. It just has rain on it. Like, people hate any sort of weather on any map. I feel like it's just like people hate wet work and they hate Downpour. It's like, they're good maps. They just have a weather atmosphere behind them. 12th place might be a little bit surprising because it's obviously a fan favorite since they release it in every Modern Warfare ever made, and even other games that aren't Modern Warfare. Ghost has one. Vanguard has one. It's Shipment. Shipment is probably the most remastered map of all time, if not Nuketown, but I do think it's probably Shipment. Shipment is in so many freaking games. So obviously it's a fan favorite, but it's clearly not my favorite. I do think Shipment is an average map. Maybe it's because I'm overplayed on it at this point, because like I said, it's been in every freaking Call of Duty since COD 4 at this point. Not really, but it feels like that. And so it maybe that's the reason why I don't think it's as good as other people do, but sometimes I just get really bored of Shipment, man. I'm not really feeling Shipment 9 times out of 10. Like, Shipment is only good for camo grinding, in my opinion, and that's just because it's small, not because it's a good map. But coming in at 11th place, and the final one for the average tier before we move along into the good tier, is Overgrown. Overgrown's pretty good. You know, Overgrown's pretty good. I'm not gonna rant and rave about Overgrown to my parents, but I'm also not gonna rant and rave about any Call of Duty map to my parents. They'd probably be like, "Wow, I'm really disappointed in you, actually, Mark." I don't care. But it's okay. I like Overgrown. Do I think it's slightly too large? I do. I do think it's slightly too large. I think they could have narrowed this bad boy down a little bit, but it's okay. In my opinion, it's the perfect average map. It's just really average. I do like the design choice a little bit though, like a Overgrown town, pretty cool. Alrighty, but now we are into the good tier. So maps in this tier, I will vote for when they come up. But if any of the ones in the amazing tier or the best tier are coming up, I'm obviously going to be more excited to play those ones. 10th place is Pipeline. Breaking its way into the top 10, Pipeline is just a pretty fun map in my opinion. I don't really have much downsides to say about Pipeline. The only real big downside I can say about Pipeline is, even though it's obviously the pipeline is its whole identity, I still feel like it doesn't have its own identity. You know what I mean? I feel like this map I always just kind of get confused about this map with every other map in freaking Modern Warfare Remastered. Like I feel like they just don't, it doesn't separate itself from the rest of the maps that well, if that makes any sense. That's just the way I can put it. Coming in at the number 9 spot, however, is going to Beach Bog. Beach Bog is a daytime beachified version of the map Bog. I'm gonna, you know, a big spoiler alert coming in hot right now. Bog is going to be the next map that I talk about, because I do think the original Bog is better than Beach Bog. Again, just kind of like with Daybreak and Downpour, I don't really get the idea of making a dark map like bright. It's just like, it takes away from any sort of identity that map had. Now Beach Bog just feels like a regular old map in Call of Duty history. It doesn't feel like anything special. On top of that, Beach Bog, I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks this, it feels cramped. It feels like really cramped. Coming in at 8th place is, oh my god, what a surprise, Bog. Yeah, Bog is just a dark nighttime version of Beach Bog, and is, in my opinion, significantly better than Beach Bog. I'd rather play on a map that has like this setting than Beach Bog. It's not too hard to see. I don't know why people think that. Like, just because the map is slightly darker than normal does not mean that the map is impossible to see your enemies on. I do not struggle ever playing Bog. Like, I'm never like, oh, what am I looking at? I'm not a 78-year-old geriatrics patient that can't see for the life of them. It's pretty fine. Okay, the only downside to the map Bog, and the reason why it's not like an amazing tier or anything, is it's a super wide open map, and if people manage to gain control of the middle hill, they can absolutely lock down the spawns in this map. Coming in at 7th place though, and the final one for the good tier before we move along into the amazing tier, is Kill House. Kill House is a much better small map than Shipment, in my opinion. It is so much better. It's super small, and that's literally this whole point, is literally just like this building where you're supposed to just go kill each other as fast as possible. That's why it's called Kill House, and it works. It works for exactly what it was trying to do. In my opinion, it's one of the better small maps of Call of Duty history. But now we are into the amazing tier. So maps in these tiers deserve remasters quite often, if I'm being honest. 6th place is Backlot. Backlot it doesn't have its, that's the downside to Backlot, and the only downside to Backlot is it's kind of a boring setting. It's another desert random town map, and like that is the only bad part about Backlot. It's just boring in terms of its design choices and stuff like that, but it plays super well. It plays so much fun for a medium-sized map. It's perfect. It has perfect engagements, perfect different, I love the entire like broken building part of the map. That part is so cool. There's ways to flank, but they're not super broken ways to flank, and it doesn't make the map super large. It's great. Coming in at 5th place might be the sniper in me, because it's Countdown. Countdown is like a missile launching facility area. But yeah, if you're a sniper, this map is probably one of your favorites, because it's like literally so large in terms of its freaking in terms of its like the map itself isn't large, like it's not a big map, but there's like no cover. It's long ranges is what I'm trying to say. It's a wide open map, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. And so snipers absolutely love this map, and I'm a big fan of it. It's not like Bog either, where it's like super easy to spawn trap. You can spawn trap, but nowhere near as easily as Bog. However, coming in at 4th place is going to Winter Crash. Winter Crash is a nighttime, snowy, Christmas version of the map Crash. Spoiler alert, Crash is going to be coming up here pretty quickly. Crash is just a well-designed map. Crash is like the Shoot House before Shoot House, in my opinion. Like, Shoot House is just a traditional 3-lane map that people are going to have fun on, and that's exactly what Crash is. There's 3 lanes. You can go the alleyway lane, and it's pretty long range, very long range actually. You can go the building rent lane, which is super close range, super quite tight quarters, or you can go the middle lane, which has both long range engagements, close range engagements, and medium range engagements. It's perfect for all 3, and it just works really well. Winter Crash, I do think, is slightly worse than the original Crash though. Surprise, surprise, 3rd place, and the final one for the amazing tier before we move along into the best tier is Crash. Like I just said about Winter Crash, all of that applies to Crash, except I do think the atmosphere, listen, maybe it's not the atmosphere that I'm thinking of, maybe it's just originality. Like, I just like when the map is the original standard map from that I remember as a wee little lad. Like, I don't need these remasters, I don't need these remakes with all these special versions of the maps. I don't need that, man. I just want some regular old simple map designs, and that's what Crash is. All right, but coming in at 2nd place in the first one for the best tier, there's only 2. God, I just ran out of breath. Whew. Dude, talking to a camera for like so long and just like not taking any breaks really does take a toll on you. 2nd place, though, there's only 2 in the best tier. It's Showdown. Modern Warfare, the original COD 4 Modern Warfare has so many maps that are just like so good, but none that are like absolutely incredible. Like, there's only really 2 that I can think of that are like perfect. 2nd place is Showdown. It's one of the ones I think are perfect. Showdown just plays absolutely incredibly well. It's got all kinds of engagements that you can be in. It's just a square, realistically. It's just a big old square with like a smaller square in the middle, and then like an even smaller square inside that square. But it just plays well. Obviously, yeah, it's Modern Warfare. It's gonna have some sort of spawn trapping issues in it. You can, I guess, spawn trap, but the good part is there's 3 ways out of spawn. Unlike Bog, where there's only 1 way out of spawn, unlike Ambush, where there's only 2 ways out of spawn, this way has 3 ways, so it is slightly harder to get spawn trapped in this map. But 1st place, the best map in COD 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered, in my opinion, one of the best maps of all time, and it's crazy that it's the first ever like true Call of Duty multiplayer experience. It's Vacant. Vacant is it's just freaking awesome, man. There's genuinely like nothing I would change about Vacant. I don't even know what it's supposed to be based off of. Like a random, I mean, obviously it's a vacant building, but like what kind of building was it? Was it just like a random factory building? No, because it's got that random courtyard in the middle. Why would a factory have a courtyard in the middle of it? I have zero clue what this map is supposed to be based off of. It's not like a house that people live in, clearly, so I honestly have no idea what this map is supposed to be based off of, but it works, is what I'm trying to say, okay? It has, just like any other good map in Call of Duty history, obviously, it has pretty much a way for you to play no matter what kind of player you are. If you're a long-range sniper or LMG user, you can do that. If you're a close-range shotgun and SMG user, this map is very, very popular for that. But it's got a ton of medium-range engagements, and there's tons of flank routes, but it doesn't feel like random, you know? Like, there's flank routes, but good, well-placed, well-thought-out flank routes. It is just such a good freaking map. I love Vacant so much. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video, ranking all 23 Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer maps from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. And yeah, obviously next will be part 10 to our ranking all COD multiplayer maps, but I don't know what game we're going to do it on. I was thinking Advanced Warfare, just to get it out of the way, because Advanced Warfare is one of my least played Call of Duties. Not my least favorite though. I know it's weird, but I just, for some reason, I didn't play a lot of Call of Duty when this game came out. I was like transitioning to high school when this game came out, and so I was just like had a lot of my plate and stuff like that. I wasn't really playing video games back then, but I do like Advanced Warfare. It's just I just didn't really play it too much, so I kind of want to get it out of the way though, because I'm gonna have to go back and play it all over again just to remind myself what all the maps were. So I might do that one next. But I was also thinking about getting rid of all the World War II style ones. We did World at War and Vanguard, so maybe we'll do World War II next and get that one out of the way, just so we're all done with all the World War II ones. But I don't know. Let me know what COD would you like to see me rank the multiplayer maps in. I know there's only 15 of you guys, and so chances are nobody will even watch the video and leave a comment. I don't get many comments. But yeah, if somebody does, hey, we'll rip it. We'll get in there and rip it. That is another thing I wanted to mention, by the way. Again, massive thank you for 15 subscribers. I've said this multiple times already, but I'm going to say it again. Any help goes a long way. So if you did enjoy the video, or even if you didn't enjoy the video, but you're just feeling nice, be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. I really appreciate it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.